Fixing our nation's crumbling infrastructure was the one issue that virtually everyone in Washington could agree on. But today, the latest round of infrastructure talks crumbled. A meeting at the White House between President Trump and Democratic leaders ended before it began. The get-together was supposed to be the second official sit-down on that issue. The first, as you recall, ended with an unofficial agreement to spend $2 trillion. But the president says that's off the table.
I want to do infrastructure. I want to do it more than you want to do it. I'd be really good at that. That's what I do. But you know what? You can't do it under these circumstances.
The circumstances he's referring to are the investigations being led by the House Democrats. Speaker Pelosi expressed her disappointment at today's development.
For some reason, maybe it was lack of confidence on his part, that he really couldn't match the greatness of the challenge that we have. He just took a pass.
Eamon Javers is following the story for us from the White House tonight. Eamon, one Wall Street trader said that investors want to see infrastructure improvements get done. In fact, many of those infrastructure stocks fell on this development today. What are you hearing? Any chance of this still happening?
Well, those investors are not going to see any infrastructure spending in Washington anytime soon after today's meeting, Bill. I'm told that what it was that set the president off today was Nancy Pelosi going on television earlier in the day before the meeting, just about an hour or so before the meeting was set to happen, and accusing the president of engaging in a cover-up because he's refusing to comply with a number of subpoenas for information and documents that House Democrats want. That angered the president, and that, aides tell me, is when the president decided he simply couldn't work with them and suggested in a very hastily called Rose Garden session that he wasn't going to work with Democrats on much of anything, including drug price legislation, infrastructure, and a number of other issues, saying you can either investigate me or you can legislate, and you can't do both at the same time. So the president's saying ultimately Washington is going to come to something of a halt here.
Eamon, you mentioned that investigate versus legislate. What does that mean in particular for the debt ceiling and the budget? They're critical to the economy and also to Wall Street.
Well, we spent some time trying to figure that out because the president didn't specifically say which negotiations he's walking away from and which he's going to continue. A senior administration official texted me late this afternoon and said that the president is not walking away from negotiations around government spending and the debt ceiling. That's an important one for Wall Street. The senior administration official saying those are must-pass items and not included in the president's walking away from negotiations here at the White House. But the White House is not saying what is included. They're not saying what exactly it is he walked away from today, but he very visibly and very audibly walked away. And we'll see whether they can patch up this relationship anytime soon.
Indeed. Eamon Javers at the White House for us again tonight. Thanks, Eamon.
You bet.